You are about to shrink beyond imagination. Your world expands as you descend into a living tunnel. A system built not for comfort but for transformation. The mouth. You arrive in a cavern of motion. The teeth rise and fall like crashing pillars. Mechanical digestion begins immediately. Food is broken into smaller fragments, increasing surface area for enzyme action. Salivary glands release saliva rich in amylase, an enzyme that begins the breakdown of starch. At this point, starch is broken to maltose. The tongue rotates and presses, shaping the food into a bolus. Very smooth, lubricated, ready for the journey. The esophagus. You are pushed, not falling, but guided. This is peristalsis, a wave of muscular contraction behind the bolus and relaxation ahead. Circular muscles contract, longitudinal muscles shorten the tube. The movement is precise, involuntary, and unstoppable, no matter how hard you would like. No digestion here yet, only transport with intention. The stomach. You enter a chamber of force and chemistry. The stomach walls contract rhythmically, churning the bolus into shape. Gastric glands release. First is hydrochloric acid, just to lower the pH up to 2. Then pepsinogen, converted into pepsin, activated by the acid. At this point, the acid denatures protein, unfolding their structure and exposing peptide bonds. Pepsin then cleaves those bonds, beginning protein digestion. This environment is very hostile. Only specialized mucus protects the stomach lining. The duodenum. Now you are released into a new zone where multiple systems unite. From the liver, bile comes. From the pancreas, pancreatic juice comes. What does the bile do? The bile emulsifies lipids, breaks large fat droplets into tiny molecules, and increases surface area for enzyme activity. While the pancreatic enzymes like amylase continues carbohydrate digestion. Trypsin breaks polypeptides into smaller peptides. Lipase acts upon the lipid, and then the lipids is broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. Next, the ileum. You now enter the vast landscape covered in projection. The walls are lined with villi, each covered with microvilli. This maximizes surface area engineered for absorption. Here, digestion is completed. Maltose to glucose and peptides to amino acids. These molecules cross into the bloodstreams. Glucose and amino acids pass through capillaries. Fatty acids and glycerol enter lacteal in the lymphatic system. Diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport operate simultaneously. And this is where food becomes you. Yes, you as some big living molecule. Here we go. Large intestine. What remains is refined. Water is reabsorbed into the bloodstreams. Mineral ions are claimed. The gut bacteria act on undigested material, producing vitamins such as vitamin K. At this point, the remaining content solidify into feces. Movement is now slower, and extraction is the very final process. The rectum and anus exit. The journey concludes. The rectum stores waste. Starch receptors then signal fullness. At the rectum, defecation is controlled, both voluntary and reflex. The system then clears itself, ready to begin again. Now, here is a complete biological summary. In one continuous process, food is mechanically broken down, chemically digested by enzymes, reduced to absorbable molecules, then transferred into the internal environment, and finally integrated into metabolism. The core digestive equations are: for carbohydrate, starch breaks to maltose and finally to glucose. For proteins, proteins break to polypeptides and finally to amino acids. For lipids, they break to fatty acids and glycerol. Now listen, you entered as an observer, but everything you witness is happening inside you and right now.